What's up, everyone? It's Bart Talks Hockey, and I wanted to talk about my upcoming 2024 Stanley Cup Contenders. And I do want to apologize offhand. I am running a bit of a fever because of the weather change, something going around, so forth. But anyway, I want to first talk about the Vegas Golden Knights out west. They're the defending Stanley Cup champs. They just won the Stanley Cup. They have most of their team intact, and talent-wise, they're more than capable of running the table again, as long as they stay healthy. And repeating is a very hard thing to do, but we've already seen it twice in the past decade with the Penguins and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Next up, the Edmonton Oilers. With Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the team, you are expected to be a cup contender if they can find a way to keep the puck out of their net in the playoffs. Then they can certainly make a run. My next cup contender is the Dallas Stars. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. They lost to the team that won it all, the Vegas Golden Knights. Those two overtime losses in Game 1 and 2 set the tone for the series. If the Stars can shore up their defense, maybe do something about Ryan Suter, maybe get Thomas Harley more playing time, they can win the Stanley Cup. Another cup contender is the Colorado Avalanche, but with the injuries they've had to Gabriel Landeskog being the biggest one, they could suffer some setbacks from last regular season, and their depth will be tested. Otherwise, and if they can overcome those things, they're talented enough. They have a talented enough roster and a great enough coach where they can make a cup run. But with the competition with Vegas, Edmonton, Dallas, it's going to be really hard to get back to the Stanley Cup in 2020 like they did in 2022. But they're talented enough and they've made those pushes before. So as long as we're in a preseason, anything can happen, and they are certainly a cup contender. Out east, we'll start with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they did get beat by the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round last year, but the most important thing happened with them is the team got rest, and if they can patch up their defense a little bit after the absence of Ryan McDonough last season when he went to Nashville, their defense got exposed a bit. But after enough rest and the fact that they just repeated back in 2020 and 2021, they also played for a cup final in 2022, they can certainly get back there. They're kind of a dark horse. And the cup contenders, I do apologize. Again, I'm not feeling the greatest. I'll have to look at next the Carolina Hurricanes. They've been knocking on the door for a long time. Year after year, they have great regular seasons. Last year, they made it to the conference finals. And they have the best defensive core, in my opinion, in all of the NHL. They can score, they're fast, they play physical, and they got even meaner this past off season, so they can certainly make a run at the Stanley Cup final, and they're looking to do what Vegas did recently and finally break through. Next up, the team that I believe, that I have a hunch is going to win the Stanley Cup, and that's going to be the New Jersey Devils. I felt like part of me wanted to go with Carolina, but that it just somehow, before the season starts, everybody's at 0-all in the standings. I just have a hunch. I just have the best feeling about New Jersey. They just got off. They're on a hot streak right now. They got back into the playoffs for the first time in 5 years, since 2018. And they're young, but that didn't stop Aiden Hill and the Vegas Golden Knights from winning the Stanley Cup last year. And it would be very interesting. So not only are they, putting aside they're young, they're also really fast, they're talented, they have a capable tandem in goaltending. They have a capable goaltending tandem, and they're like the team that are not only cup contenders, but they look like a team that can certainly get it done. And they just, I mean, the way they play an all-around fast game, they look very similar to the 2022 Avalanche or the 2023 Golden Knights. So, going off on a bit of a limb, I'm going with the New Jersey Devils as my 2024 Stanley Cup champion. A notable omission is the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm leaving them off this list because while they're certainly a cup contender in the eyes of many, not only have they choked so many times in the playoffs over the last 10, 20 years, but looking at the roster, the big question for them is, can they play defense, and will they do enough to be able to keep the puck out of the net? Time will tell, and it's been a long time. It's been over 30 years since Canada has won a Stanley Cup. A Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup. If somebody looks to do it, it would be Edmonton, but Toronto could be another strong bet. But that's all I have for today, and the season is almost here. And I wanted to thank you all for watching this video, and thank you for bearing with me if you made it this far. And I will catch you next time. Later.